This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Franktown, Colorado. We're at Dynamic Piercing and Tattoo. Since 2002, they have been the premier body art studio, conveniently located between Parker and Colorado Springs. I am here with the owner and artist, Debbie. Thank you for joining us here today. Why don't we start off, first of all, started out in 2002 professionally, but quite honestly, since back in the 80s, you were actually involved in piercing. Obviously, you've been a student or a lover of art since a child. Is that what got you involved in this industry?
In a roundabout way, except for I met a friend when I was in my 20s, and he was actually the one who got me started in the business.
He's the one that got you involved in the business. Was there always something in the back of your mind of something that you thought you may do like this, or was it just kind of a surprise to you as well?
It wasn't anything that I planned when I was a young person, that I was going to be a tattoo artist. We're always, I'm going to be a nurse or something like this, and actually was in the medical field for a while. So it wasn't anything planned, but I had always done art as a child anyway. It was my hobby. And so when I met my friend who owned a tattoo studio, I took a natural interest in that, and I started piercing in his studio, before I started tattooing. It's the piercing part that led me into the tattooing part. I actually started piercing before tattooing, but because of my interest in art,
It all worked together.
It did.
Fantastic. Let me ask, we've got, you were in California doing this at the time. You're a native of Colorado, is that right?
I was actually in North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And so have you always lived here in Colorado?
I'm a Colorado native. I have not always lived in Colorado. I've lived in many other states. I've lived in Florida, North Carolina, Texas. I was in the Air Force for a while. So I've moved around quite a bit, but landed back in my home state.
Wonderful. In 1989, when you were basically looking into piercing and whatnot, tattooing wasn't what you call mainstream. Quite honestly, you had bikers, you had military, which you have a background in, but it really wasn't mainstream. Why do you think people are looking at it more so today, and it's really getting popular?
Because the industry has worked very, very hard to bring it into the mainstream. We never wanted to stay back alley, as it were. So I think that the artists, the piercers, the professionals in this industry have been the ones who have led the way to bring it out into the open and make it more professional and more accepted.
Absolutely. I mean, quite honestly, art has been around for many years, and people have always loved maybe putting art up on their walls. These are folks that basically display their art on their bodies. I mean, that's kind of a unique thing.
It is a unique thing. It's a very personal thing. People get tattooed for any number of reasons, same thing with piercings, but it can be memorial tattoos, a loved one who passed away and a person who never thought of a tattoo before, and then all of a sudden realized that what was really important is now gone, and they want to memorialize that. So it's any number of reasons that people actually get interested in the art. Yeah.
I like that. Speaking of a unique, personal, like you said, and permanent canvas, are you pretty honored when people actually trust you to go ahead and take to their body and perform the art?
I am very honored because it's a big trust.
Yeah.
We're doing something to permanently mark somebody's body, or permanently place a hole in that body, and those people are putting all their trust into me to perform that, not only sterilely, but do a great job and give them a great piece of art that they love, not necessarily that anybody else loves. So it's a big honor to be trusted that way.
Wonderful. You spoke of sterile. Obviously, your background in medical, does that carry over with safety being your top priority here?
Amazingly, it really does. Huge.
Yeah.
I really believe that it would benefit everybody to have that type of training in this industry. Because I have the background that I have, I'm able to recognize the way that that helps me to run my business. It's amazing.
One of the main things, like you said, is the reason why people are putting trust in this industry is because of the fact that you're educated not only in the art side of it, but you're also educated in the side of it to keep it safe for folks.
Right, that's true. I am. I have to say I got that part of my training from the military, and it's an interesting thing that I could take that and incorporate that into this business, because they definitely go hand in hand.
Wonderful. Let's start off the process first of all. Do some folks walk in the front door, maybe they've got a piece of art already sketched out on a piece of paper? Are you able to take that and transform and put it wherever they'd like? Is that one of the ways that this is done?
Sometimes they'll bring me a piece that is ready to go. And that is true. We do something called putting it on a carbon paper, and then it's a transfer, and we transfer it to the body. Sometimes they bring me an idea that needs to be redrawn, and I'll do that. Or they don't bring me anything. They just have an idea in their head, and I have to bring it to life for them.
Bring it to life. So basically you have that artist side where you can sit down with them in a consultation, decide what it is, kind of what they're going for, and then the two of you collaborate and put that together. I think that's great. Speaking of an idea in your head, share with me how you got the name of your business here.
You know, when I started piercing, it just simply popped in my head, and it was always there. Even before I even opened in 2002, it was always dynamic. It just was.
Is there an age requirement that you have here at your shop? Because I see a lot of young kids out here really starting to like that. High school. I've got a few kids myself. And is there an age requirement that you have here in your shop?
Yes. Now, there is no age requirement with the state of Colorado as far as tattoos or piercings. However, with that said, a person who is under the age of 18 has to have a parent present with them, and they both have to present identification to prove parent-child relationship. Most studios, including myself, put a limit on the age for certain things. For instance, for tattooing, for me, it's 16 with a parent or 18 without. Piercings, on the other hand, it depends on the piercing, but I'll, pierce a baby's ears, a newborn, as far as ears go. Other piercings, different ages, like maybe a cartilage at the age of 12. So most studios set that age, and that my limits are on my website.
Wonderful. So how important is that consultation at the beginning when you sit down with folks? I imagine even more so possibly when you have a younger person involved.
Well, the tattoo consultation is really important. Excuse me. And the reason that it is because it gives me a chance to sit down with that person and really make a connection to them.
Sure.
And everybody's different as far as what they like and the types of art that they like. By sitting down, I'm able to kind of tap into their personality and really feel them and what they're about. And so I feel that the consultation part is just paramount, rather than somebody walking straight into the door and saying, I want this right now. I think they get a better piece of art.
Once again, adding to that professional atmosphere that you're very much a part of. Obviously, the tattooing, like you said, wasn't the first art form you did on the body. Piercing was really before that.
Yes.
Explain to me a little bit what you offer here in piercing.
I do all piercings, from earlobes, nose piercings, navel piercings, all body piercings. The only thing that I don't do are dermals, and there's a reason for that. Dermals are very, very difficult to remove, and if somebody were to have an emergency situation, they couldn't remove them if they needed to for surgery or whatever. So that's that medical background kicking into play, that I prefer not to do dermals, but I do piercings instead. So
interesting. And like you said, because of the removal process. Speaking of removal process, folks out there have gotten a tattoo. They decide that, hey, they regretted getting that. They don't want to get it. Their life changed for some reason. You also do the removal of tattoos. Share with me the process you use.
I do tattoo removal. It is a brand new process. It is not laser. It is called tattoo vanish. And the process is that I tattoo over the area that has already been tattooed. We are essentially removing the top layer of tissue over that pigment. And when I do that, you can see that pigment. We use a product called ink eraser, and it seeps in and it separates that pigment from the tissue. We let the area scab. They can't get it wet while it's still scabbed up. When that scab comes off, that pigment comes with it. It's an awesome process. It's about half as many sessions as you would have laser. The nice part about this is that that pigment is coming out the same way that it went in. With laser, they're bursting that pigment, and it gets absorbed into the lymph system until it gets, pushed out somehow.
The body pushes out instead of you extracting it out naturally like you should be. Sounds like a kind of a safer way to me.
I think so. And that's why I got started with the tattoo vanish over laser. I did my research on that. I'd had a lot of people coming to me for tattoo removal, and I didn't do it for a long period of time. So when I decided to, I really researched the different methods, and I really love tattoo vanish. It's awesome.
Interesting. Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. Once again, that's Dynamic Piercing and Tattoo. And if you see on the website there, you're going to take a look at some before and afters that she's done actually of tattoo removal, which are quite amazing. And you're going to see some images there that I bet the people are very surprised at the fact that you're able to remove in such a way you did. You're also going to be able to take a look there. If you want to set up an appointment, you can do that right on the website as well. And her contact information is at the bottom of the screen. Folks out there, like you say, we're getting into mainstream here. Businesses are not frowning on it like they used to. They're letting their folks actually go out, get a tattoo. What if somebody out there who is afraid to do something like this? What would you tell them, and how do you walk them through it?
Which part are we talking? Tattoo, piercing, or all of it?
The tattoo part of it.
I think everybody is afraid when they're first thinking about getting a tattoo. Once it's kind of like once you learn to swim, you're not afraid to jump in the water.
Absolutely.
Same thing with tattooing. I tell people to do their research, to find an artist that they click with, for one thing. Research their art. Definitely research the studio. You can even contact the local health department in your area to find out about, what kind of markings they have with them. That's a good place to start. And then, of course, the most important thing is deciding what piece they want. I think it's a good idea to really think about what you want before you permanently display it on your body.
That is definitely the motivating factor. When they have that piece in hand, they know this is something they, like you said, they want to put on their body as a memorial, or possibly just as something that they want to share with the rest of the world. And like you said, what's most important is that they love it, and that really is what has kept you in business for these many years.
That's a fact, yes.
One of the reasons this industry really has gone more mainstream is, quite honestly, not only you're more educated, but the folks more educated out there as well. What about folks that are still basically doing it at home, and what are the drawbacks to that, and possibly even the concerns?
It is very, very dangerous to do this at home, and that's why it's a health department regulated industry that it is. People don't understand what the risks are, which is why they continue to do it. Necrotizing fasciitis being one of those. That can kill you, by the way. So it's never a good idea, and I don't advise piercing yourself at home, or tattooing yourself at home for that matter. When people come into this studio, they are rest assured that I sterilize every single thing that I use, as well as give a really good, solid education. When they walk in that door, they don't understand near as much about piercings as when they leave. So I give a great piercing education.
Wonderful. I see on the walls here you've gotten some awards in the past from the A-list. Is that important to you, knowing that the public is happy with your work?
That's the most important thing. I don't have somebody over me doing a review like most people do at work. They have their yearly reviews. My review is, do I have happy clients? And so that's why that's the most important thing, is making sure that my clients really love what they leave with and really have enjoyed their experience while they were here.
So when somebody refers you, there's a big smile on your face.
Absolutely. That is the best compliment that I can get. When somebody walks in and says, so-and-so referred me, that is the greatest compliment there is.
Wonderful. Make sure and check out on their Facebook page as well, folks. They'll keep you apprised of all the latest work they've got, as well as let you know what she's possibly working on at that time. Once again, folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen, check out the website, and keep in mind, just click on there, make an appointment. She will sit down with you, get a consultation. She wants to make sure she's comfortable with you, you're comfortable with her, and quite honestly, she's bringing quite a few years of experience to the table with a background in the love of art, and also understanding the need, the safety, professionalism that is required in this industry today. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.